chair too. Glenn's here. There's that. We need one more chair. Oh, it's okay. Oh, we're good. All right, we're gonna get started. One of our speakers running late, but we're gonna start on time. How about that? Okay. All right. We'll see her when she gets here. Okay. All right. So we've heard a lot today about workforce development, and our title was Empowering Tomorrow's Leaders: Workforce Development and Sustainable Transportation. So we've heard a lot today about fixing the equipment, to vehicles, to putting the wiring, the cabling, the infrastructure, whether it's whatever fuel it is, to what about the community as well, making sure, as you heard in the last panel, what about making sure that the folks in these neighborhoods that we're concerned about, that they can tap into some of these jobs, and that's really important. This session delves into workforce development strategies with sustainable transportation. We actually have an employer here, which is good, you know. I'm glad. Thank you, Nathan, for that suggestion. It's one thing to talk about theoretical, but it's also good to have somebody that can hire people, right? So it's really important. So we're going to run through really quickly our presenters. Buford is currently the founder and CEO of Veterans Education Training Workforce Solutions, VetWorks. VetWorks is a full-scale education, training, and workforce and business solutions center designed to provide quality training to veterans, families, and the community at large. Buford also created and developed new programs that provided education and vocational training opportunities for homeless veterans as well, returning citizens, and those receiving supplemental nutritional assistance, also known as SNAP, across the state of Maryland. Dr. Stafford Sutton is President and CEO of AlphaTech Flow, an innovative technology company that offers digital solutions and professional services. They provide end-to-end solutions to create winning solutions, drive measurable results, mitigate security risks to our clients' complex problems. They also specialize in solutions for infrastructure, engineering, electronics, solar, energy, telecom, and defense industries. AlphaTech Flow provides a range of digital transformation services from deployment, modernization, and strategy managed services. Tracy Thompson is the CEO of Creative PMO LLC, which provides a customized approach to your digital project management and business needs. She is a certified project management professional and Agile Scrum certified, showcasing her commitment to excellence in her field. Furthermore, she possesses more than 10 years of experience in diversity, equity, and inclusion, holding a diversity and inclusion certification from Cornell University. Samantha Ortega is the government relations manager at Charter Health, whose mission is to increase the uptime of EV charging stations to ensure mass EV adoption. As the first company exclusively dedicated to EV charging operations and maintenance, their customers span the value chain: utilities, EV auto manufacturers and makers, charging companies and charging station companies, network operators, installers, and resellers. Glenn Mala. Glenn is the Mala is the Human Resource Director at TAG B Group, Transportation and Parking Management. She has a passion for company culture and employment engagement as an instrumental leader in crafting internal HR practices and strategic business partnerships. Glenn directs recruits and ensures quality training for staff at Howard University, Children's Hospital, MedStar, Events DC, and DC Public Schools as well. So let's put our hands together for this great panel. All right, we got some smart folks up here. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. I wanted to give each of them just a few quick minutes to talk about your organization and what you're doing around workforce development and the clean transportation space. So why don't we start with you?
Good afternoon.
And you're hiring right now. She's got like a couple hundred jobs, so we gotta make sure.
Thank you. We can't hear you. How about that?
Yeah, talk.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lane. I'm the HR Director for Tanvi Transportation. My background is in sociology, management, leadership, and project management. Tanvi Group is owned by minority, and it's a private company. We partner with numerous universities, hospitals, and private entities, and we also provide service and transportation plus 8,000 staff members and students daily in Washington, D.C. area. Currently, we have a corporate accelerator program within our company where we innovate solutions like we have created a software called ADP, Brown Parking. It is an app and solution website to speed up the process of parking experience in Washington, D.C.
Nice. Do you work with charging companies too?
We are working on it right now.
Oh, that's good. That's a big need.
Yeah,
There's a few
that's
apps out there. They need more of those, but yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go right down to you.
Good
Should be another
afternoon.
mic down there too, right?
Nope, I think you can have it.
Oh yeah, I got it. Bring it on right over here. Sorry about that.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adamali Buford. I'm a United States Army veteran. I am the founder and CEO of VetWorks. It stands for Veterans Education Training and Workforce Solutions. We train in 4 core areas, one being culinary arts, community health work, information technology, and electric vehicle charging station repair technician. So wrapped around all of that is our Workforce Development Academy and our digital literacy training. So we have workforce partners in each one of our vocational training areas. We don't train in any place that we don't have what we call an anchor partner, employer partner with. So if you train in an electric vehicle charging station, we plan to match you with an electric vehicle charging station job once you get out. And one of our most recent partners is Spin, the micro-mobility devices that you see right around, whether they're bikes or scooters. Spin just kind of partnered with us to say, you train our technicians, we'll hire them on full-time benefits, full-time rates. So we make it a point to train in those areas. And as the panelists that have been up before us, my God, excellent job, first of all. One of the things that I appreciated most about what you all were saying was that in order to be serious about this work, I always say that I'm very unapologetically Black, right? In order to be serious about impacting community, you have to be willing to be in community, understand how community works, and then be able to translate this message into community in a way that they can absorb it and then actually implement what you've said, right? So it's one thing for me to say if I'm teaching a 3rd grader, 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 21, because they could absorb that if they were in the right environment. But if I go into the wrong environment and say that, it's not going to resonate. But if I said, you take 7 MCs, put them in a line, as 7 more brothers who think they can rhyme, but it'll take 7 more before I go for mine. Now that's 21 MCs in at the same time. Somebody will resonate with that and say, oh man, that was Rakim. Yeah, it was Rakim, but it was in the message that the math was there, right? And if you understand how to translate the message into community, you understand that community is very connected to hip hop. If you understand that hip hop is very connected to the household, and the household is directly connected to the church, and without those things being understood, you're not going to translate the message into community effectively. You're going to miss the message altogether. So I don't care how many degrees you have, I don't care where you went to school, if you've not been in community to understand how to translate all of that knowledge back in, we're going to miss the mark. And so when I formed VetWorks, my thought was simple. If I was blessed by God's grace and mercy to make it out of that, and then I got a little education to understand it, how then am I going to translate it back? Well, you've got to be in a position of controlling the message. And so there it is. So,
all right. All right. Thank you. I love that. Now you can know he got a little flow. All right. I learn something new every day on this panel.
Well, I don't have a flow, so I'll do my speech. But hi everyone, I'm Tracy Thompson, as Antoine mentioned. So I own Creative PMO. We are a program project management consulting company. And I have been certified in project management about 14 years, and predominantly in that area has been in IT. So during the pandemic, I started a nonprofit as well, the Code for Change, because I saw a need for us to, bring more diversity to STEM. So in particular, technology. It was something that was on my heart for many years. I worked at IBM for 10 years and different IT companies, and I've always wanted to reach out to the youth and do some training. So I saw the workforce development was very important. And so now, as we start this clean energy transition, I wanted to work closely with Antoine on that. And we've been working with GWR-CCC on workforce development efforts, particularly around EV installation. We'll talk more about it. We can talk more about the EV prep program that we are proposing, and we have, we found that in our communities, which we've learned today is mostly overburdened by, diesel trucks and environmental justice. Well, also there's the economic burdens, right? So if we don't learn from the digital divide, as Antoine mentioned, or just some of the challenges we have in IT and diversity, we'll have the same problems with clean energy. So we have been working on a program that's a pre-apprenticeship program to actually get people into EV installation as a career. And for most of the certifications out there, like the biggest certification, EVITP, to get that certification, you have to be a licensed electrician. So our program assists people in underserved communities to get the training they need in the pre-apprenticeship program, and that way it can be a direct entry into an apprenticeship program for electricians. So that's what we've been working with GWR-CCC. I'm very excited to hopefully get that funding soon. We can talk more about that.
Right. My name is Dr. Stafford Sutton. I'm actually going to take off one of my hats, the hat in terms of I have been the president and CEO of Alpha Tech Flow, but I'm also the director for Maryland, the state of Maryland, with Family New Life. And we actually work with workforce development with youth. And so in that area, I have a group that I created called the Green Berets. And the Green Berets learn all about the solar, wind turbine, any type of clean energy jobs that there is. And what I would ask on today is, how many of you are business owners? Okay, so we have business owners. Business owners are the backbone of this country. And so what we do is we actually create programs for youth to go in and learn different things in these businesses. And so we are in the process now of taking that information and having them to look at social media, go on the TikToks, go on Facebook, whatever the case is, so that people can be more interested in the green arena. So that's what we are, workforce development with our youth. They go from anywhere from about 14, 16 up to 24, ages of 24.
Very good. Hello everyone, Samantha Ortega, Manager of Government Relations with Charter Health. Antoine, thank you for inviting us to speak in the room today. So Charter Health is an electric vehicle charging reliability management company. We specialize in the maintenance and repair of commercially available level 2, level 3, more commonly known as DC fast charging stations. We're an LA headquarter company. We're a women and Black-owned company. Two great women from South Central Los Angeles and Compton, California. And additionally, we support in the workforce development through our learning and development program and curriculum. And so to give you a little bit of background on Charter Health, we were founded early 2020, so just before COVID really hit. I believe January 1st was our launch date. And our co-founders sought out to address two critical issues. First being to ensure that the charging stations that were being deployed in our communities were actually working. what they found was that these charging stations were left unrepaired for long periods of time, and it was strictly in Los Angeles and Compton area. And the second thing that they wanted to address was the workforce, who was going to repair these charging stations. And they thought it should be folks from disadvantaged communities, folks from the communities where these charging stations are being deployed. Historically, charging companies will dispatch their one technician nationwide, and that was just not sustainable, and it's one of the reasons why charging stations, you see them staying broken, even today. And I'll add one additional critical issue that they wanted to address was, as a new industry, they wanted to remove barriers for folks integrating into this space. And our CEO actually developed our proprietary curriculum, which we still use now. Of course, it's matured, but it was essentially to remove barriers for people to integrate into this space. And what we saw when we went out to hire for 12 positions was that we received 1,600 applicants. And so we saw the desire and the interest of people to integrate into the space. We set the stage at $30 an hour, full-time with benefits, and we're hoping that the industry would follow behind. Just additional context regarding our company, we are a data-driven company, so we work with a network provider, which is a software company for the charging stations. And what we're looking at is hardware and software related issues. There is a misconception that electricians, as she mentioned, or electrical issues are the primary issues, but they're actually more complex than that. So we're doing software updates, upgrades, troubleshooting parts, reprogramming parts into the system, checking connectivity. So it's a wide range of issues that we're looking at. But fast forward to 2023, we partnered with SAE International, the Society of Automotive Engineers, to launch the first industry-backed EVSE EV charging certification and body of knowledge, which was modeled from our curriculum. So we're very excited that that's going to be launching. Actually, it launched a couple of weeks ago. But I'll wrap it up really quick. I want to say that we look to partner with nonprofits and companies to support in the workforce development so that folks from our communities can participate into this transition.
And I want to say thank you. We're partnering with Charger Health on a federal grant. Louisiana Clean Fuels won a EV charging repair program to try to get curriculum in colleges and universities around the country. And so our task is to try to get the District of Columbia and Prince George Community College and a few other colleges. We only got to get one college, but we're trying to get a few colleges in the area to adopt a technician training curriculum. But we also need to, and that's for repairing the charging stations and maintaining them. But we also need to do a similar effort for repairing and maintaining the vehicles. There's a tremendous need for vehicle training and maintenance for training for maintenance and repair of electric vehicles and other fuels, especially electric vehicles. They're rapidly coming on. There's a national shortage of technicians to fix those vehicles. So that's something that we're looking at. We're trying to, we'll be trying to apply for some funding for that as well. So we go to the group. So, and we'll take a few questions from the audience. Everybody get ready, okay? Wake up, get ready, okay? So, a few things. The first thing I want to ask you all about is, there are a lot of jobs in this industry. There are a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs. The challenge that I see is most people in EJ communities, you say dream job, they don't think it's for me. It's earlier, some of you may or may not be here, but they were talking about EV charging, e-bikes. Some communities, you say e-bike, they don't think it's for them. Some people don't think EV charging vehicles, although we know it's going to be a requirement in most of the states in this area by 2035. But people don't see the careers, whether it's green hydrogen, green natural gas and electric vehicles, biofuels, renewable diesel, all that stuff. How do we get the word out to people that there's real jobs right now? Not like down the road, like there's jobs right now. How do we get that message up? Like, I want to start on this side. What are you doing? How can we, what are you doing, and how can this audience help you get the word out? Because you got jobs like right now, right? Like right now, right? Like how many jobs do you have? You got 5. That's 5 people putting to work, right? Right? I mean, I'm not gonna poo-poo 5 jobs. I mean, if I can, that's somebody. That's 5 jobs, right?
So yeah, we are hearing a lot of conversations about clean energy, and we want to make sure our workforce is ready to be applied. So obviously, in order to do that, we need capital, we need network and partnership, and we have to also the career paths have to be also mapping out clearly from entry level to still leadership positions, so people know about this.
Because you have some, what they call green collar, blue collar, and white collar jobs.
Correct.
All right. Okay. Okay. So I would say, let me go down to the next. So what do you, everyone give me one idea what you think we can do to get the word out on these jobs in these areas.
Well, I think one of the first things we did is when we started to partner and build curriculum around even micromobility, we're talking about scooters, right? The first thing I said is that if we were going to partner with a company like Spin, let's get into community. And let's offer free rides to everybody in the community. Let's offer free, offer free accessibility to information to all of the parents for the students that were getting free rides. And then we told them, once you understood that yes, you like to ride the scooter, you get the wheelie. What if I told you that you could make $20 an hour getting that done? And mom, what if I told you that since you are on food stamps, that you are entitled to 1 free ride to and from work and where you are able to use this? And if you wanted to go to school, there's actually an education and training supplement attached to your food stamps that would allow you to train to get the job. So if you take it into the community and let them understand that beyond just riding it up and down the street and throwing it off to the side, because if you've ever ridden through community, you see them laying around everywhere. If you go through and you understand that has a direct correlation to you and to your family, then you'd be more inclined to be interested in the venue. And then you tie that to understanding why it's important that each one of them have a bank and a bank card to be able to use the technology that's attached to being able to use it. You're now creating the environment where you can have a conversation. And lastly, but most importantly, the fact that you're in community means that they'll hear you when you're talking to it, and you better be ready to translate the message again. So I'm big on being able to be in community and have the employers say, look, if you really want us to train people to get the jobs that you're saying are available, don't be afraid to come in community. It's okay, we ain't gonna bite.
All right.
Yeah, that to piggyback on that being in the community is the community engagement piece, right? So one of the speakers also earlier said that people in the community need to know what's possible. So they need to know that these careers are available and it's possible for them. One of the things we used to do, or people still do, is career days, right? So being part of career days, having people come out and talk to them about green careers and clean energy careers, partnering with churches and community centers. Part of environmental justice can be about the technology, but also about the jobs that are available in the area. So I think it's reaching out, partnering with community organizations, going into schools, talking about the careers, letting them know what type of careers are available.
So I believe that partnering is really the key. But one thing that we did a few years ago was working with our group in Michigan. We actually went to churches, we partnered with the churches, and we actually put together a pre-curriculum for the auto industry. And so what we called a pre-curriculum was that we started them with basic skill sets. And so, I don't know if you know this, but in some of these jobs, you have to take tests. And those tests will say, okay, you're at this level, you can actually go to the next level, whatever the case is. And so we partnered with them. We used these churches as the place that we would hold the different classes. Then we went through, gave them the curriculum, and they were able to pass the test. So we actually should have the data on that, because at the end of the day, it's harder when you can't show what you've done in the past. People probably, they don't want to always give you a chance. So that's why we look for organizations that we can partner with. I've worked in the faith-based community for years, finance churches around the country, but I believe that that's the key for us as people to be able to take our message into our communities, because a lot of times we're not even, we don't even know about green energy. If we don't change the mindset of the people at an earlier age, we have to teach them something so that they will know, yes, there is an opportunity here. Yes, it's not just a job, but it's a career. We have to start speaking things differently into the ears of our youth.
Amen.
So one of the things that we run into quite a bit is that we are confused with a workforce development agency as a private business. And, we try to do as much workforce development as support that we can. But I think, it's really critical that these recruiters that are working in partnership with the workforce development agencies get trained to be versed in how to seek out the skill sets required for an EDSE maintenance technician. I think that's really important, and we are launching a online learning system where folks can take the foundational training and get certified, and that in particular could be used for a multitude of things. But recruiters is one example. It is a big lift, but I think if the recruiter knows how to identify the skill sets, they can fulfill the role, right? Or partner with the right organizations or companies to get these folks into jobs. So I think, that's one of the most critical ones for us.
So let me ask you all this next thing. We're talking about strategies, right? So I'm going to go to the audience, all right? So I'm going to start with you and work our way back, okay? One good idea, people want to know about training, they want to know about jobs. What's your one idea of how you get the word out to do better engaging them around getting people jobs and getting the word out about training? One nugget.
So engaging the state agencies, there's a lot of money coming down from the federal government and the states, and I think that if the states are connected to communities or churches and that faith-based organizations, I feel like there could be that streamlining of information coming down faster.
All right, I got it. I love it. So there's a lot of money coming through state and county and local governments for workforce development and training. We need to look up at them. And we just had some clergy. We're going to some roundtables. Maybe we can bring your vision to reality. You heard that, right? Smile. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. What's your idea?
You gotta write the vision, make a plan.
That's right. That's right.
That's how we do it. But
I was in Louisiana last week, and I got thrashing by one of my peers saying, Antoine, you used to run a one-stop. I mean, that's a job center for the city of Buffalo. And so I told her, I said, you know what, let me get to this conference. I'm going to dedicate half of the summer making sure I do rise to the moment, because she's absolutely correct. I can talk about workforce, but write about workforce development stuff in my sleep.
That's right. And you know what? And there's such a need for that. Let me tell you this. If we don't do the work now, it's going to hurt us later.
That's
Let
right.
me let you hear what I'm saying. If
Yes.
we don't do it now, it's going to hurt us later in different ways. And so one of the things that I know that we need to do, we need to go into definitely the churches, the community centers, go into the barber shops, go into the hair salons. Make sure you have those things there that people can actually see. Yes, there's training, that there is a job here. And then you go to those individuals who are leaders in these communities. And you want to get partnerships with them and say, who can you bring? How can we put this together? One of the ideas that I had also is that, Uber has this whole thing where they will give these vouchers. And so what we need to do is, that's a job. You put a tablet on the back of a seat with a commercial on it and let it go. So everywhere that they're getting in the cars, because they will get in that in a minute, or they will be on scooters, things of that sort. Make sure that there's some kind of advertisement that people can see and know that there's something out here for them.
I love it. Great idea. And you know what? If you start early enough, you'll have some companies that will donate advertising space for your program or for your event as well. So we'll talk about that, and we'll put that in our notes as well.
Yeah, I was thinking with, Juneteenth just passed, there were a lot of community, celebrations and things that we attended, right, Antoine? So this summer, having tables at some of these events, these community organizations, and partnering with them and having a booth and a table, talking to them about the trainings, but also working with the local workforce development agency. They already have a built-in group of people who are going through training, so working directly with your local workforce development agency too.
Wow, that's amazing, because I was going to say the exact same thing in the last piece, but one of the things that I really love about that strategy is the fact that once you get the audience, right, there's the funding side, right? They're going to fund your organization, they're going to fund your community event to get the messaging out, but then how do you translate the messaging? You hear me consistently talk about that, right? Because if I told everybody in this room right now that I'm going to teach you in the next 30 seconds about the 4 stages of an internal combustion engine, you'd be like, yeah, not right now, ready to go home and get on this freeway, right? But if I said to you, suck, squeeze, bang, blow, intake, compression, ignition, exhaust, you'd be more inclined to listen, because as soon as I said suck, squeeze, bang, blow, all y'all was like, I didn't know it was this kind of party. We were going to talk about something else, right? But the reality is if you can control the messaging so that the audience can actually begin to absorb it, when you go into community and you've gotten the funders to understand that you've got a robust data management system and a learning management system, you can quantify all of the things that you say on paper. It's all there, but that's what we're all supposed to do, right? Nobody's mission statement says we suck, right? The reality is that we all have a level of knowledge that says we should be there. So we can translate that message into the people and develop a strategy by which it really gets into their ear, it'll spark the flame.
Well, in Tag Legal Strategies, we use to empower and motivate candidates, also the community would be, we usually give trainings like paid incentive compensations, and also we partner with education industries and technology institutions, where we give them a free education platform. We have Tag Legal Jobs, we give them free education platforms where they can learn from their home. So that's what we do.
On what you just said.
Sure.
When we were talking, I forget which panelist it was that spoke about stipends earlier. I think that's a critical part of building programming. But moreover, whenever you give a stipend, inside of our programming, when we have our apprenticeship training begin, and we say that you're going to get a stipend, sure you're going to get a stipend, X amount of dollars per week. But in that, there's a portion of your stipend that's tied to your attendance. In that, there's a portion of your stipend that's tied to performance. In that, there's a portion of your stipend that's tied to behavior. So when you have a contractual agreement and understand, listen, you don't get to come to work and act a fool and get paid at the end of the week. That's not how real life works. You don't get to only come 2 days a week and get a full week's pay. As soon as you tie those type of stipends to performance, you begin to start to really translate how real workforce works, right? Because the truth is, resumes get you interviews, people get jobs. They like you because they like the way you behave, you attend, you perform.
Amen. All right. I love it. I'm going to go to the audience for a few questions around workforce development. Any questions for the panel? They're dropping a lot of nuggets over there. I even got me a half page of notes over here. Yeah, you do these things and you always learn something everywhere you go. Life is a learning process.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
And I meant to follow up a little earlier. One of the programs I work with youth is Doors. And the reason I asked earlier about who has businesses is that we actually will put an intern in your business and he can learn, and we pay their salary, their stipend, whatever the case may be. And so I asked that question because you all are thought leaders. You all are thought leaders out here because you're business owners and you have to stay ahead of the game most of the time. And so being that as the case, if you can have your business and have a young person that will help to learn something under your tutelage, to me, that's what I look for. I look for those kinds of individuals.
All right. Right, there's more notes here. All right, so any, gentlemen all the way in the back?
Yeah, Kimon Freeman again, DC congressional candidate. I want to thank Greater Washington Region Clean Cities Coalition for convening this because I learned a lot and it's really informing our campaign. But sometimes when you have these conversations about green energy and things that need to happen for a sustainable environment, I think you overlook the fact that there are people, there are entities that have a vested interest in preventing a lot of this from happening. I know for a fact here in Washington, D.C., that we had the trolley cars covering the city. They tore those tracks up and implemented the buses, and someone made money off of that. And as a result, a lot of young black people and children got sick and developed asthma. So I'd like to know to the panel, what are some of the obstacles that you feel are in your way, inhibiting some of these changes from taking place? If you can identify those, and also some of the things that could be done to assist you in achieving some of the goals that you have. So obstacles and needs is something I would love to hear from the panel.
Why don't we start from Samantha and work our way back?
Thanks for the question. You know, as a government relations manager.
Speak in the mic, please. Speak in the mic.
Sorry about that. As a government relations person for Charter Health, my priority is to ensure that there is enough flexibility for folks to enter into this space. So that means that with these funding programs that are being rolled out, there has to be flexibility because we are a new industry. We want to make sure that there is enough flexibility for individuals from disadvantaged communities to enter into the space. So for us, it has meant having those conversations and educating legislators to allow for this flexibility. And what I mean by that is that for technicians who are servicing the charging stations, our curriculum is 3 to 6 weeks. We can train someone between 3 to 6 weeks and they can enter into the space, become marketable, and they can get additional trainings to specific manufacturers once they're within Charter Health. But we're hoping that the programs have enough flexibility. So educating legislators would be my response to that.
I just want to say the response to that is Jimmy Carter had solar panels in the White House in 1979. And so I don't think just educating some of them, because some of them are vested against it, because then Ronald Reagan took them down. And so some of them know what's going on, but yet still we're dealing with the so I just want to push back just a little bit.
Let's keep it going. We're almost time though. Let's go extra 15 minutes.
I'm gonna make it quick.
We got a speaker on the way and she wants to make a big announcement here. So
2 things. On the first side is commitment. I believe that we have to be committed to this, meaning that you say, I'm going to take a half an hour a day to educate or to put together a program or whatever the case is every day. Because guess what? We all got something to do and it's always busy. But unless you commit to it and say, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand on business, I'm going to make sure that these individuals are able to get what's needed, it won't happen. The second thing is to be able to partner, reach out and partner with companies that will help be fiduciary agents for you, or that will help you in this process. Those are the 2 things that I believe is needed.
And I would say one of the challenges I think that I see is that a lot of times government wants to do things the same way they've done it because it's easier, and maybe using the same resources, the same contractors. So with this space, the commitment, we have to fight to push to get new contractors, to get new ideas through, because they want to take what's easiest, which sometimes is keeping us status quo. So we have to keep pushing to get new ideas and new vendors and new contractors and MBEs to the table.
And I would also say right now in the Justice 40 space in the BJ communities, because so much funding is coming down, you have people that have really no interest. I believe some people that don't have any sincere interest in it, but it's funding and they want to tap into it. So it's only so much you can do on that. They apply for it, they get it, but it's up to us to make sure that we do everything we can to partner, collaborate, break, and push to make sure that people that are generally interested and committed to doing this work get funded, and it's not just people getting it that's just checking the box because there's another funding opportunity that's out there and they think they can scale up, throw a couple people in it, and once the funding is gone, they stop doing work. And we would do the work anyway, right? Our board is committed. It's one of the reasons why they hired me was to be in this space. But some groups are just, in it for the season, not for the long term. So.
I know for the next panel, I will not be sitting next to you. I'm gonna switch seats. So, but to your point, obstacles are, that a lot of times that the people that are getting the funding are repeat funded, right? And so I think one of my biggest things was to always know that going in, and don't partner with people that you know are part of that group, right? Anybody that partners with me in business, that works in business, will tell you I came from being a CEO and learned a lot of lessons. Now I'll tell you, anybody that I'm partnering with right now is serious about the work. So don't fall into the traps that because there's millions of dollars attached to the funding and you could benefit from your organization to the tune of 1.4 million in that same group. Don't be seduced by it. Stick true to the mission because the people have always driven the power, always. And so inside of this, it was always my thought that if we've got a good product and we are seriously connected to the people, sure, you're gonna start for a while, but they can't outrun the truth. And the truth is that if you serve the people in a genuine way and you've got a solid product, you'll start will rise.
Absolutely. Cream always rises to the top. You may have a little difficulty, but it will rise.
I mean, they say the same thing. I mean, there's nothing I can add honestly on this. Basically, there's a challenge of partnership. You have to pick the right candidates and partnerships for your business. So that's basically the challenge.
All right, I'm gonna go to the audience, take a few questions. Take a couple questions. All right, come on over here. Yes.
I just want to say thank you again, Antoine, because we've been in a couple of these sessions together and we've watched this thing continually grow. And so one of the things I wanted to say, because I'm with TAC B Group there, she said they do about 8,000 students a day. 8,000, that's a lot of people you're responsible for moving back and forth, around the city. And I think for me, listening to the candidate out there, what are the obstacles, what are some of the challenges? I think it's going to be really what you said, brother, being intentional. Really being intentional about bringing in, even not being afraid. I know it's Juneteenth, I'm African American, I love it, but it's not, it's about intentionally going over to the other side and saying, hey, we also live in the same environment. And it's vice versa, right? And so I just wanted to just kind of just throw that word intentionality out there because I appreciate you, sharing that flow with us. Nobody can rap, today. So I got my dosage of rap today. But I am curious about, especially when it comes to Charming Health, because I know you're working a lot of federal things. What additional intentional things can we do from this meeting? Should we be taking away, not just as a transportation company, but also as we continue to kind of push this agenda?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, let's go there. We got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes. I want to give each of you a chance of. Yeah, but I'm gonna be covering you all as well. Okay, cool. I'm trying to moderate my meeting. Okay. All right. So, intentionality. What should we do leaving here about making some stuff happen? What's the one thing you think we should do leaving here? These people out here killing themselves over other things, and we could be helping them get some jobs. They got one job, but for those that want, and they want to train, or they need the education, you got to communicate with them. I've done that a whole lot too. How do we do that?
If you don't mind, what is your role? What do you
Chief
do?
Development Officer.
What is it?
Chief Development Officer.
For a private business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess it just depends, right? When we're looking at the federal funding that's coming down, we come in, well, we have to build a partnership, right? But we come in a little bit later because the infrastructure still has to be built. The workforce development programs have to be, rolled out. So we're a little bit behind everyone in terms of like installation, design, and all of that. But I mean, I would say to businesses or government that they need to focus on the workforce development. They have to really be intentional. I mean, I think I'm just repeating, what the panel is saying is building the partnership so that folks can get trained and into this. I don't know if I can provide additional context.
Don't worry. Any other questions from the audience? Any other questions from the audience? We'll come to Charlie, then we'll come back to Mr. Ryan, and then swing over to Ms. Rossdale.
I guess it's a statement question, sort of going back onto your exercise of what we can do immediately. I'm an older guy, I'll be 50 in July, so I'm shocked and surprised I haven't heard one thing. That's social media, right? We have to key into the different groups that our youth follow with strong messaging. Whether that be NBA basketball team, whether it's the high schools, with core messaging about the excitement that should be revolving around this industry. And so, for me, I guess it's a question to the group, and I know you guys have said a lot here today, but, maybe as a group, maybe Greater Washington Coalition comes together and brainstorms on that piece. Where are these key areas of social media that we can use our partnerships with big followerships?
We have a TikTok, so we don't use it enough. But we got some new folks in the office, so we'll make sure we get back on track with TikTok videos, right? Because we know that Instagram and TikTok are not only, but two of the preferred means of communication for young people. Most of you probably don't know that if you ask the young people that are in here, most of them don't watch the news. They get their news right from Instagram and X or what is it called, Twitter, right? So is that right? Is that a true statement?
Yeah.
All right. All under 30 people, raise your hand in the room. All right. All right. Is that true?
Yes.
Get the news
Yes.
from where?
Twitter.
The three right here, the third row. TikTok. And the what?
It is a big one.
TikTok. All right. All right. So I forgot TikTok. Right. You got TikTok. You got Instagram, and and then you got Twitter. I think Twitter is like on a fading out for the young people. Is that a safe statement?
Yeah.
Yeah. I use Meta too. Nah, Meta, that's an extension of Facebook for your parents and grandparents, right? Oh, we gotta know that. Damn, we really got it. It was down.
Hey, Antoine, listen, what they try to do, and that's what I want my students to do, is they put together little TikTok videos. I'm always pushing them back to Facebook. I'm old school. But I tell them that, and what they taught me is that if you don't catch their attention really quick, it's a wrap. They have gone on and spiked on you. So I try to get, they use music, they try to get me to do dance. I'm like, I ain't doing a dance. But they're always doing something that's quick. So whatever we do, if we want to catch their attention, we got to do it quick. We can't try to develop the whole thing out. You know how we used to develop this stuff? No, we ain't doing that.
So I want to take Charlie's point, and we're going to go over these last two things. But Charlie, I want to thank you for that. We will do some brainstorming. We're going to have like 7 really smart young people in the office for the summer, and we will make sure we do that. And maybe we'll have a little forum where you all can have a 2-way conversation with them and all of us together. Is that fine?
Yeah.
All All right, we'll do that. I think that'd be nice to have a nice Zoom call and have some young people as the panelists. Woo! All right, that's your job, all right? Okay, that's your job. All right, you like that too, right? Yeah. All right, so we have two more real quick. 1, 2.
Yeah, quick. Are you recording this today?
Yes, we are right there. Yeah.
Please set the Roland Martins Black Star Network here. I think he might stream this over his network and take it national for you.
Okay, let's do it. Thank you. All right, we'll go to our last person.
Okay, so I'm headed back to Buffalo from this, and I'm curious either on a national level or if you would come to Buffalo, connect with Buffalo, but sharing some of the things that you talked about with pastors, because the pipeline for the church, and some of you have mentioned it, but it's vast, and they definitely don't know about all the options, and if they knew, they would, flood the opportunities with their parishioners.
So let me say this. If we're invited, we'll come, number one. Number two, we are working on some funding opportunities to be able to go around the country and do this. So we're looking at a couple tracks, one for the community as a whole, but also one working with clergy. So we got some work to do to package and present, but I think that the conversations are there, and we're going to push to get that across the finish line. We think that between the foundation, corporations, and federal government, what we do is good, right? We think we're doing a lot of great work, but it's a push, right, to help people see the vision. Because sometimes people, they want to make small investments and not big investments in things that can have a big impact, right? So sometimes, it's a little work, but we'll get there. Everything's in God's time. And we're going to keep pushing. One thing about I learned from my mama is to keep on fighting until you get what you want. All right? Because it's not about me, as I said, community, it's for the community. All right, so I want to give the panel a chance to say some final words. We'll go with each speaker.
We are preparing our next generation in professional sustainable transportation sector is crucial. So we have to keep spreading the word to our lawmakers, get more funding, network, and partnership. Thank you so much.
First and foremost, thank you. And to your point about intentionality, but I think one of the things that I would ask for intentionality purposes is that the GWRCCC take all of the commonality that we have in programming. I heard a program that's 3 to 6 weeks. I got a 12 to 16 weeks. I heard it was both training on electric vehicle technician certified programming. I'm like, my God, we've got so much strong programming. If you could tie those together and kind of make us aware how we can co-collaborate in some of this space, it would be great. And for, I guess, last comments, thank you for learning more about VetWorks and what we do. Again, we focus on veterans education and training, but we deal with veteran families and underserved communities because they all have interconnectivity, and keep pushing the work. Don't be afraid, especially for the young people, right? Don't be afraid to push the envelope. I don't have a LinkedIn page. I don't have a Twitter. I don't tweet. I don't do any of that. But I stay ear to the ground with hip hop, and I know as the country starts to move, I know exactly who to talk to and how to get the attention. So y'all gonna have to help me with social media. So when you hear VetWorks, come on over. I got some young interns, so y'all are vastly needed.
Yes. So we should have done a TikTok video today, but it might not be too late. You have the app with you? Yeah. All right, we're gonna do a TikTok video before we leave, okay? All right? So we're gonna do a couple of them today before we leave, because we're gonna be here now, right? Why do tomorrow when we can do today? Okay. Amen. All right? Okay. We at Howard University. We got all these good folks. Right? We're gonna be here now. All right.
Yes, so I'm just going to say thank you for this panel and allowing us to talk a little bit about workforce development, the importance of it in our communities, that we have an opportunity now that our people are now left behind in terms of the benefits of finding and getting trained to good paying jobs and where this country is going. So thank you. Looking forward to collaborating.
Yes, thank you, Antoine. One of the things that I would say is that we need to make sure that we're always looking ahead. We have to be about what's going to happen in the future, not what's just happening now. And really be about it, not just talking, but doing things. That's important.
Antoine, thank you very much again for inviting us. You know, what I would point out, if you can take anything away from today, is that, you know, the SAE certification is available. You know, we are training individuals, and, you know, I want to encourage you to utilize the certification to help folks train to adjacent roles and occupations. Something that I don't think I mentioned is that some of the technicians that we have come from oil and gas factories, telecoms, and we believe that this foundational training can give folks that opportunity to step into these other roles, like dispatching and manufacturing. And so, you know, it's going to be coming up pretty soon, and you know, keep an eye out for that.
All right, the last, very question. All right.
Yep, again, Latanya Pegues, everybody. But I also didn't want you to forget about space transportation. So as we're getting off the planet and we're transporting people to space, there's now the workforce that's being developed for that. And I'm doing some work in that, so perhaps we can chat about that, getting the next generation of non-whites involved in this $1.5 trillion industry. And the groups that I'm involved in, we're looking at engaging with people who are not necessarily STEM. I'm a physicist, I love STEM, but everybody can also be involved. You just don't have to be a NASA worker. So don't forget about the transportation off the planet, as well as keeping our environment safe on Earth and then outside the stratosphere.
Awesome, awesome. Put our hands together for this panel. Kelly Crawford is coming in like Superwoman. Come on up here. Something, and she walked in here like bam, like a good old Chelsea. Come on down. TSC in the house. All right. Kelly Crawford, she's a senior advisor in the Vehicle Technology Office. And, okay, well, she works for the Department of Energy. You got a promotion too? Yes, she's a senior advisor to the U.S. Department of Energy and Secretary, right?
Office of Energy Justice and Equity.
Office of Energy, Justice, and Equity. She also used to work for D.C. Department of Environment and Energy as well. And she was the one who had us start doing it at this location. This is our second year. Even bigger and better, but she has some announcement for us, so I want to give her a few minutes.
Yes, it's something to share, and thank you for giving me time. We have, so I'm a senior advisor for Energy, Justice, and Equity, and as of today, the Department of Energy is taking public comment and feedback on our next environmental justice strategic plan. This is the first time we're taking public comment on the plan before it's written. And so what has been shared in the Federal Register today are our 5 draft strategic goals and a number of questions. And this is the perfect audience to make sure that you know about it and that there's an opportunity to have your voices heard and have it be part of the record. And we're really excited about it. Also, on the SAC side, our director, Honorable Shalonda Baker, today is her last day in the department, which is why it's a pretty hectic day. I'm going to a week party immediately following these proceedings. But we're so grateful and thankful for all the work that she has done with us, and this strategic plan and some of our other initiatives are really going to leave a lasting legacy on the way that we do our program at the office at the Department of Energy. Antoine always confuses us. The Vehicle Technology Offices funds him, so that's who he keeps on the
How can they find out where the link can be?
I will send the link to you to send out to your folks. It's in the Federal Register, it was published today, so if you're familiar with how to find something there, it's the Department of Energy Environmental Justice Strategic Plan.
All right.
We have virtual listening sessions that are scheduled. The first one will be July 9th, so there's also an opportunity to give oral feedback.
All right. So you heard that July 9th. You have a time for that yet?
3 o'clock? But all of the times are.
Okay. But you'll let us know.
I will send you the link.
Yeah. All right, so if you are a member of the coalition, we send out weekly announcements. And if you're not, you should join today. We'll make sure that we help promote that feedback and input so we can give that. And I know, Lisa, you got something to say, right? All right. All right, thank you, Kelly. All right, I want to hear it all. Thank you. Put our hands together. I want to say thank you for all of you who stayed the whole day. I know we went over a few minutes, but I was trying to delay to give Kelly a chance to come by and share that announcement. We need to participate. Because remember, earlier the time we had talked about how we got to show up, right? We got to comment. This regulatory process, the legislative process, all this is important to show that people that we care about these issues, right? So one is here. So, did you all have a good time today? How many of you learned at least one new thing today? All right, great. So the point of this is, now you've learned, you have to educate, and you have to implement, okay? And you have to organize. Educate, implement, organize, mobilize. If you do all that, we'll be successful. We do have, again, the Round Flowers golf tournament next week. If you can't make it, if you can make a donation for that, that would be great. If you can make it, we'd love you to be there. The last thing is October 15th and 16th is our annual conference. The 15th will be virtual. The 16th is in person. It's going to be in Greenbelt, Maryland at Hartman's Crosswinds. It's a whole day conference. We're going to have some amazing speakers. We're going to have some training, 2 different training tracks as well. And then we'll also have an awards luncheon too. We'll be displaying some vehicles as well, all different types of vehicles as well. If you got any cleaner, you can bring them to display them. All right. So we want to have a lot of vehicles out to display as well. And we'll be, tomorrow we'll be making an announcement seeking people who we can nominate for awards this year in the clean transportation and energy space. So without further ado, thank you all. I want to thank our team. Can all of our GWR tribute staff stand up, please?
Woo. All right.
And some of them are still running around, but I want to thank them for helping to put this on. It's a lot of work. We're building, right? So this is only our 2nd year. And next year we're gonna have it even bigger and better. Thank you, God bless.